Okay, picture this. You're in the final interview for a PMHNP role that you really want. Everything's clicking, it's going great, and then it happens. They hit you with the question. You know the one. The single question that could literally shape your financial life for years.
There it is. So what are your salary expectations? It sounds so innocent, right? So casual. But let me tell you, for a psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner, this is anything but casual. This is a super high-stakes moment. Your answer right here can literally set the course for your earnings for a long, long time. Get it right, and you're on track to be paid what you are absolutely worth. But get it wrong? Oh, it gets expensive. Really expensive.
And when I say expensive, I'm not kidding. We aren't talking about a couple $1,000s here. A single wrong move in answering this one question, one very common mistake, can literally cost you $20, even $30,000. Yeah, 30 grand left on the table.
So, let's talk about it, the anchoring trap, and why giving your number first is such a costly mistake. So what is this huge mistake? Well, it's simple. It's answering the question at all. The second you give them a number, any number, whether it's what you make now or what you'd like to make, boom, you've just walked right into a psychological trap. And trust me, it is incredibly hard to get out of. This trap has a name. It's called anchoring bias. It's this weird quirk in our brains where we latch on to the very first piece of information we hear. So the minute you say a number, that number becomes the anchor for the entire rest of the conversation. Seriously, every offer, every counteroffer, everything from that point on is tied directly back to that first number you gave. And if you anchor too low, well, you've just put a ceiling on your own salary. And chances are, it's way, way below what they were actually willing to pay. Let's see exactly how this plays out in the real world. Okay, look at the scenario on the left. This is you anchoring low. You tell them you're currently making $130,000. They work from that number, and you end up with an offer of $138K. Not bad, right? Except their budget was actually $160,000. Now look at the right. This time, you don't say a number. You let them go first. They have to start at the market rate, so they offer $155. You counter, and you land right at their max budget, $160,000. It's the same job, it's the same you, but the outcome is completely different. And that gap you see right there, the space between what you got by anchoring low and what the true market rate was, yeah, that's literally money you left on the table. In this case, it's $22,000. And that's not a one-time thing. That's 22 grand every single year, all because of who said a number first. Okay, so let's get to the good stuff, the power of deferring. This is the simple fix that puts you back in control. I know what you're thinking. How do I possibly avoid this trap without sounding difficult? Well, the good news is there's a really simple, totally professional way to flip the script and take charge of the conversation. It all comes down to this easy 3-step tactic. It's super simple to remember. Step 1, acknowledge their question, but then politely defer. You can say something like, I'd be happy to talk about compensation once we both feel this is the right fit. Step 2, immediately follow that up by showing how excited you are for the job. Like, I'm just so enthusiastic about the work you're doing here. And then step 3, this is the magic move. Return the question. You ask, to help me out, could you share the salary range you've budgeted for this position? See, you weren't rude, you weren't difficult, you were just strategic. All right, now we're talking. Let's move on to how to negotiate with data. Because your past salary, it's completely irrelevant. Once they give you that range, that's when the real negotiation starts. And this is where you absolutely cannot just go with your gut feeling. This whole next part has to be based on cold, hard data. Why? Because what you made in your last job has absolutely nothing to do with what this new job is actually worth. I mean, just take a look at this. The data is wild. A PMHNP in Arkansas can pull in an average salary of almost $280,000. But for the very same job in Georgia, the average is around $166,000. That's more than a $100,000 difference. Your old salary doesn't know anything about that. It doesn't factor in location or new responsibilities or what the market looks like today. The only number that truly matters is the going rate for this job in this location right now. And look, when you walk in armed with that kind of data, the results are just powerful. We're talking about a potential increase of $20,000 or more from just a single negotiation. And that's not a made-up number. It's based on an analysis of over 8,500 PMNHP job postings. This isn't just a nice little tip. It is a full-on financial strategy. This is your decisive advantage, the tool that gives you the data you need. Having this kind of objective information totally changes the game. You're not just hoping for a good salary anymore. You're operating from a position of knowledge. And let me tell you, that gives you a massive advantage.
So, the big question is, where do you get this amazing data? Well, here's your toolkit. It's the free 2026 PMHNP salary guide from PMHNPhiring.com. And when I say it has everything, I mean it. You get state-by-state salary data, you see how remote pay compares to in-person, you get cost of living adjustments, and even ready-to-use negotiation scripts. And it's all built on that huge analysis of over 8,500 job postings.
When you boil it all down, this whole entire process really just comes down to one thing. One simple but incredibly powerful idea. First, you have to know what you're worth. And then you have to have the confidence and the right tools to go out there and get it. Look, this is about more than just a bigger paycheck. It's about making sure your salary actually reflects your skill, your training, and the absolutely critical value you bring to your patients' lives every single day. So the real question is, are you ready to walk into that next negotiation feeling totally confident? All the data you need is just sitting there waiting for you. Just head on over to PMHNPhiring.com. That's PMHNPhiring.com to download your free 2026 salary guide. It's really the first step to making sure you never, ever leave money on the table again.